interested in the sum at this point, not the individual dice. Although if you play craps, that can be important. You can bet on, say, 8 the hard way, which is double 4s,
11.
versus 8 the easy way, which is just any other sum of 8. So,
I should be playing craps.
you should be playing craps with a bunch of 7s and 11s.
Yeah.
Double that. Oh!
I got 5, right?
Interesting. I wish I had not been here. I would show them the
That's what
distribution. So as you guys roll, take a pause just for a moment. Just for a moment, take a pause. I want to do a real quick informal collection of ideas, because what I heard over here from Claire and Veronica was that we're getting a bunch of 7s. And Vivica said something in the back. She said, what did you say, Vivica?
So the higher number, well, the middle numbers would have a higher probability.
So maybe this isn't right. Maybe they're not one. So how many got snake eyes, and how many snake eyes did you get? Hands up with fingers for snake eyes. So that's 6, 7. That's almost 11. How many got 3s? Sums of 3. Sums of 3. And Troy, how many did you get? How many sums of 3 did you get?
I got 2.
You got 2. All right. That's almost the same. A little bit, few more than 2, but not arguably more. 4s. Sums of 4s. Interesting. Way more fingers for 4. 5s. This is very informal. I'm not writing these down. This is very informal, but you see what's happening. Look around as you're looking at your own notes. Look at the number of fingers that are up. 6s. 6s. Look at the number of fingers up, friends. 7s. Even, yeah, 2 hands on some people. We need 2 hands to count them. Now, jump right to 12. How many sums of, this is called boxcars in craps. Boxcars. Lonely 5. So it looks to be that. It looks to be that. It's not 1 of 11 on the sums. It looks like, what Vivica said, maybe. These are pretty rare. It gets more common, and then maybe something happens after here. So what I've done, let me show you kind of the point of your next project. This is, and we're going to go back and do this actually rigorously without using Excel. But what this is, it's an Excel simulator that keeps track of die rolls. I gotta, again, make it fit the screen. Hang on.
Is it because of the fact that 7 is in the middle of all these numbers?
That's a consequence of how the dice are numbered, Nick. Thank you for that. It's a consequence of how they're numbered. If you numbered them differently, you could have a different number in the middle. But yeah, that is the reason. You can see that, right? Yeah. That's the reason, yes, for these dice.
So it
why?
just could be the number that's in the middle.
And now hold that thought. Give me maybe 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes. And we're going to make it a lot more clear. So what I've got here, it's the same kind of sheet we looked at last time with 1 die, except I've got 2 of them. There's 1 and there's another one. And here's their sum. Now notice I didn't do 1 die with 11 sides on it. Because if I did 1 die with 11 sides, you actually would have 1 out of 11 for each one. But that's not what you guys are rolling. You're not rolling an 11-sided die. You're rolling 2 6-sided dice. Go ahead, Pat.
Well, it's like what Vivica said. Like, there's only one way to get boxcars. There's
Thank you.
every number on these dice. If you're rolling 2, there's a combination to get 7. Whether
Now,
it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
hear what Pat just said?
Yeah.
See if what he said is represented on the board. Now, some computers are fast enough where I can just hold the F9 button down and you'll see it change as we go. You recognize these guys from yesterday? Recognize? Are they looking essentially like they're supposed to look? Let me kill the light so it's a little bit clearer. There we go. So are these looking essentially like they're supposed to look for a single die? Because each of those 2 dice that you're rolling is behaving as it should, i.e. it's behaving like a 6-sided die. So you should be getting these pie charts that are evening out over time. Fair enough? Is this graph looking essentially like what you guys collected as a class? Now, there's going to be differences, of course, in it. There's going to be some differences, of course. So what I'd like to do, I'm going to hold down F9 on this thing and let it do its thing and come back to it. Assuming I can. And then I want to analyze what Pat just said, which I thought was very interesting. Perfect. He said there's more ways to get a 7 than there is to get boxcars, which is double 6. And there's more ways to get 7 than there is to get snake eyes, which is double 1. So what I want to do is, let's figure these probabilities out while that's thinking. And then we're going to go back and we're going to compare our results to the machine.